zeros of a function. 0 means x-intercept of a function. So when you find x-intercept, by the way, what's an x-intercept? X-intercept is a point on the x-axis. At that point, y is equals to 0. So that's why I said when you look for an x-intercept, simply let y equals to 0 and then solve for x. And then I have 4 functions. Each function has its graph. So the first function is the third degree polynomial. We have f of x equals to x to the third minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. Here is the graph. I really like this setup because I can just like tap on this graph and then zoom it in and then blow it up. Okay, zoom it in, whatever you like to call. So this is the graph of the function that I just mentioned. Now, without doing any algebra, what is the x-intercept or the zeros of this function? The zeros are, as you can see, we have 3 on the picture. So the first one is negative 2 comma 0, and then we have 2 comma 0, and then we have 3 comma 0. All right, but yes, you can just go to Decimal, DESMOS. Decimals is a free graphing calculator app. You can punch in the function and then you get a graph, right? And then you can see exactly what the x-intercepts are, but how do you find that using algebra? So here is how. So let's put it back. So the way we do this is we have to let the function equals to 0. So x to the third minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. And then you just let that equals to 0. Because at x-intercept, y is equals to 0. And then this is a factor by group. So you group the first 2 terms, minus 3x squared, and then you group the last 2 terms. Be aware that you have to change the plus to a minus, because when you distribute the x back, you get a plus 12. And then I factor out x squared, we have x minus 3, and then minus 4, and then x minus 3. Do you see that we have 2 identical x minus 3? So x minus 3, take it out. You have x squared minus 4 equals to 0. This is a x minus 3. And then x plus 2, x minus 2 equals to 0. And then at the end of the day, what do you have? You have x equals to 3, negative 2, and positive 2, right? So for the zeros, you don't have to write the point like 3 comma 0. When they ask for x-intercept, you do have to answer like that. So if I say what is the x-intercept, then you have to say 3 comma 0. If I say what the zeros are, then reporting the single number is enough. And then the next problem, let's do the green problem, shall we? So the green function, let me change to green first. So the green function is you have f of x equals to 1/3, all right, 1/3 x to the third minus 2x, and then the green graph, what do you have right here? Oh, can you see that? Okay, let's move it like that. I think you can pretty much see it. So you have one on the left that is negative 2.449 comma 0, and then one positive on the right. You also have let's see 0 comma 0, right? Okay, let's put this back because I moved this way too many steps. So let's just move this back. I think you can see that pretty well. I should just go that way. So positive negative 2.449 and then 0. Okay, put this back. So let's use algebra. So we have 1/3. We have 1/3 x to the third minus 2x. The color doesn't match. Let's make the color match. I think this is the one that we want. So we have 1/3 x to the third, right? X to the third minus 2x equals to 0. I will take a 1/3 and an x out. I will factor as much as I can. So I have x squared, right? And then minus what? What number goes there? The answer is 6, because 6 divided by 3 is equals to 2, equals to 0. So we have 1/3 x equals to 0. X is equals to 0. You have x squared minus 6 equals to 0. X squared is equals to 6. X is equals to plus or minus square root of 6, because x squared the square, the 2 is even. When you take the square root, you have to use plus or minus. So if that is a square, a 4th power, a 6th power, 8th power, as long as the power is even, you have to use a plus or minus. So, and then this is approximately equals to plus or minus 2.449. So that's how we got 2 points right over there here. Blow this up. That's how you got the plus or minus, and also the x equals to 0. All right, so moving on to the blue picture. So the blue picture, we have the blue picture right here, and then this is a semicircle. So the function is f of x equals to square root of 9 minus x squared right over here. All right, so we have a -3 and a +3. Okay, so match the color first. We have square root of 9 minus x squared equals to 0. Two ways to think about the next step. Either you square both sides, or the square root of something equals to 0. So the only possible answer is the radicand equals to 0. 9 minus, you can do that as 3 minus x and 3 plus x, or 9 equals to x squared. Take the square root on both sides. X equals to the plus or minus square root of 9, so x equals to plus or minus 3. For the square, the 4th power, the 6th power, any even power, you have to use plus or minus on the other side. All right, and then the last graph. So the last graph is in purple. The graph is pretty complicated. So if I ask for x-intercept, you see that there is a -3, 0 and a 2, 0. How do we get that? So first of all, let me change to purple, and then the function is f of x equals to x plus 3 divided by x minus 2, and then divided by 2x squared minus 6, and then you set that equals to 0. So the way we solve that is we multiply the denominator on both sides. So we have x plus 3 and then x minus 2 equals to 0, and then x is equals to -3, x is equals to +2. And then do you see that the function is broken down into 3 pieces? So if you study intermediate algebra or college algebra in the past, looks like there is a vertical asymptotes right over here, right? And then also there is another vertical asymptotes right over here. Right, so how do we find those vertical asymptotes? I know it's like out of the topics already. We have the function anyway. I'll just show you this really quick. So we have 2x squared minus x, rational function, denominator cannot be equal to 0, and then x squared is equals to, you have a 6 divided by 2 is 3, so x is equals to plus or minus square root of 3, which is approximately equals to 1.73 plus or minus. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. So when x is equals to the plus or minus square root of 3, you have a vertical asymptote, because when you plug in this number to the given rational function, the given function, whatever you like to call, the function is undefined. Okay, so we just finished this video. Once again, 0 of a function means x-intercept of the function. All right, either you use a graph to find it, or you do the algebra. I am sure that on the exam you will have to use algebra. Your teacher is not going to give you a graph and then just ask you to point out the answers. Okay, so that is the end of this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, a subscribe, and I will meet you all in the next lesson. Signing out.